Hello and welcome to the channel How We Move the Decimal. And today's video is another exciting video of me photographing vintage buttons. This is the last and I think I have one more. I can't say this is the last video. I'm getting to the bottom of the buttons here. Say that 5 times fast. So in this video, I am still writing down everything I'm doing. It's photographed, it's ready to go for when I actually have time to list it, which it's been over a month since I photographed these and I've had no time to list them because life is crazy. But they are on a file on my computer, so I have the ability to do that. I'm trying to work in pockets of time, but that is difficult because a lot of the pockets of time I am up and going. I don't like to work on eBay when I'm doing things actively with my children. So if I'm going to like soccer practice and I'm watching them practice, I do not like to work on eBay. However, when I go sit and pick up line for 45 minutes, that is a lovely pocket of time for me to work on eBay. Unfortunately, I really hate working on eBay on my phone. I can do it, I just don't particularly care for it. I don't like using the eBay app. I prefer to list on desktop, but I think my new approach to this will be to upload the photos into eBay on my desktop and into their listing template and then list them from my phone while I'm in pickup line. I think might be my best bet right now. I would like to get back above 700. I do have the amount of listings it would take to get back above 700. I just don't have the time to list them. I'm going through and counting all of the buttons since they are different instead of saying what boards they are on. So when I was listing all of the same kind, I said like 17 cards. Well, each card has different amount of buttons on it. So I'm going to go ahead and list them by button. So I'm counting them. It's taking a while, and I think I had to start over 3 or 4 times because I kept getting interrupted. I keep writing down every picture, the amount of buttons, in case I do get interrupted. I only have to recount that and not everything else. These are just like a hodgepodge. This is all of the random buttons, or I had already done a lot and I found a couple more buttons from those lots. That is what we're seeing here. I was, going back and forth on even listing these or just donating them, the random button lots. But honestly, I listed a random thread lot and it sold within days. And I was not expecting that to sell. So I'm okay with going through and listing these one at a time in larger lots. This is, I guess, one of the downfalls of being a jack of many trades when it comes to eBay. I don't specialize in one thing. I specialize in multiple. If it sells, I'll list it. So this can be one of the problems with that. If it sells, I will list it. And it's hard to get a groove when you do that. Where like when I'm photographing pants, I know everything I'm photographing there. When I'm photographing shirts, I can do those all in the order too. With buttons and stuff, it's fine because I'm listing them all as a large lot, but I don't have previous experience with buttons. Now in the future, I will have worked with buttons, but this is my first go around with buttons. So that makes it a little longer of a listing process, a little more to do. I'm doing a lot more searching on my phone. While I'm listing them, I'm doing a lot more separating and sorting than I would maybe if I had already had experience with these. Also, these were dirty. Like my hands coming back from touching these, I had to wash my hands and it was really gross. You could feel like the dust and stuff on them from storage. So that was a bit of an issue there. All in all, it wasn't horrible, but it is not what I'm used to listing. So that was the largest issue, I guess. But upside, they are all photographed. Downside, none of them are listed. And I'm going back and forth on what to do with my store this summer. Do I put it on vacation? Do I not put it on vacation? Do I change my handling time? I just recently went through and had to do a mass edit. I don't know what happened, but a lot of my listings went from my normal 2-day handling time to 1-day handling time. And I noticed out of, again, approximately 700 listings, about 115 had listed themselves from 1-day handling, which was odd for me because I'm not used to the 1-day handling there. Okay, so this is the thread that I actually sold as a large lot for $30. It was 70 spools of thread. I got it on a mystery bag from Goodwill, and I paid, I want to say $4.99 for the mystery bag, and it had a bunch of tools. I had no idea what this was. I had to look it up. It is now also listed, but it is a specific like thread winder thing. You put the spool on that little part that sticks up, and you put that in, you slide it in to the thing. I looked it up, found it, it's listed. This had a whole bunch of vintage needles, a whole bunch of gold-tipped, gold eye vintage needles. The thread, I was just like, I'll just throw this all up as one large lot. I didn't think it would go, but it went very fast. And I only listed I didn't list the very small ones. I only listed the largest and then the medium, but the tiny little spools I did not list. And just the small and medium spools sold, which I was not expecting for that to be the first one to sell. That being said, I listed that on my phone. I did not photograph that first. I just went straight to listing. I listed this entire lot straight from my phone, so there's no videos of me putting those listings active. I threw this away because the spring was broke. It is a fabric measure, but it would not spool back in, so I ended up throwing that away. These are the packets, and I wish I had the camera a little better. These are the packets of vintage needles. They were used in like political advertisements, store advertisements, drugstore advertisements. They're gold-eyed, so gold-plated, so they were less likely to break. These are hand needles. These are not machine needles. I had several packs that were new, as in they had all of their pieces together. There were also several needles just randomly floating around in this bag when I dumped it out, so that was really fun to deal with all the needles on the ground. I did not put the gold thread on the card in there, and there was another thread I did not put in there. I put, it was like a clear thread. I did not put in there. So, I'm just going through and counting it all. Those are hook and eyes, and I'm not sure you can even list hook and eye on eBay. I think that might be a protected term, a veroed term. But this was obviously someone's sewing kit. They had just dumped it and lotted it up in the Goodwill bag, which I was completely fine with. I think I bought another lot too of this. And I didn't buy it for personal use. Sometimes when I buy these lots, I'll buy them for personal use. I did not buy this for personal use. I bought it because it was a lot and there was vintage and I thought it was a good deal. I may have used the thread for personal use. I did list them with the idea that if they don't sell, then I will just do it. I will just use them myself. But I ended up selling the thread already, which was super nice. I also had to take pictures of these with Google Lens to find out what a couple things were, like the weird plastic bobbiner. I had to Google Lens that to figure out what it was. I had to Google Lens these needles to see if they had a specific name, like the cardboard packets. Everything else, I pretty much knew what it was, but those are the two things. Oh, and there's like a little silver magnet here on your right side. my left in the video, but you're right. When you're looking at the screen, it's a sewing magnet. So I also had to Google Lens that to see what it was. I love Google Lens. We've been using it to identify plants in our yard recently as spring has sprung, and I use it oftentimes when I'm shopping too, especially in thrift stores. When I don't know what something is, I'll Google Lens it. eBay has a wonderful tool too where you can use the camera on it, but I found that I've gotten better, more consistent results when I use Google Lens versus when I just search on eBay, because if someone hasn't sold something exactly like it, then it might be different. This is me finding the random needles and picking them up to make sure that my cat doesn't get them, my kids don't get them. They were everywhere. It was absolute chaos when it came to the needles. They were just random packs of needles everywhere, which was unfortunate. But one of the hazards, I guess. This is me using Google Lens, trying to figure out what it is. I'm going ahead and taking the pictures for eBay for the listing. I normally don't do that, but I wanted to do that with this lot just to get something listed and up and kind of get it sorted and put away also. It was, again, a very quick list when it came to all of the threads and everything. But I think there was like something else. Maybe there was a floss thing. I don't know if it was in this bag or I bought 3 like mystery bags. They're not really mystery bags, you can see in them, but I bought 3 like goodie bags from the Goodwill. And ironically I only bought 5 things from that Goodwill. One was a pair of LuLaRoe pants, but they were Captain Hook. Or no, they weren't Captain Hook, they were the Evil Queen, and I got the Captain Hook ones at the bins. And then the 2 goodie bags, or 3 goodie bags. One just had yarn though, so I had 2 with miscellaneous vintage sewing stuff, and I had one that was just full of yarn because my middle child has decided to make pom-poms and she really likes it. So I had that one and then these 2 bags. So thank you for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe and have a wonderful day.